So basically, these fish killed the people on board, and then to celebrate, they did like an Animal Farm party, and they all got drunk, and then they wrecked their boat.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Don't tell Dad.
I think that every new Zelda game should have a scene where Link vomits and then finds a magic fish scale. Da 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 da.
Yeah, and then he vomits again.
And he vomits again, because I think that's a good Zelda clone.
For sure. Well, now that Mary's all puking and shit, she's all over the place.
I'm emailing Nintendo as we speak.
Welcome, horrible people, to the Horrorble Opinions podcast. And as always, I'm your deep in the swamp host, Kenny.
I'm your medical examiner that they send to do a detective's work, Daniel.
I'm your Yankee wannabe swamp rat, Ryan.
And you guessed it, folks. Today we're talking about 2004's hit movie, #1 film of the year, Frankenfish.
How many Oscars did this get?
Oh, I didn't see a single Oscar in this movie. We had some other character names. There's like a Sam, and Eliza, a Mary, a Gloria, and her ghost eye. Gloria had a ghost eye.
Is that what that's called?
That's what I call it. We had Ricardo, who was, maybe the best of us. But Roland was probably the best of us. Let's be real here. Look, I'm going to tell you right at the start here.
I don't do character names, so I don't know who any of these people are.
Roland was the nudist man.
See, this is where I say there was a nudist man.
But yeah, the nudist couple.
The man was never nude.
He was when he came out carrying the basket of fruit.
He was using the fruit to cover his fruit, though.
You want a banana?
Oh, well, he didn't hang dong, so not nude.
Elmer was complaining about it because, it doesn't mean I want to see it.
I do recall that.
Plus, Bobby is Elmer's niece, so he's also having to see his niece.
Well, and he doesn't have to look.
It's 3 houses in a swamp, Daniel. Where else are you going to look?
Anywhere.
This is the movie that Sci-Fi Channel movies aspire to be.
That's true.
It still has, some of the bad, but still fun, monster effects. Now, it had some good monster effects in it, too, but the underwater stuff...
Yeah, they shouldn't have done the underwater stuff.
If they would have done without that, it would have been, a whole,
but
2
even,
classes ahead.
2004 CG, this is still pretty good, I think.
Right, and the story, the acting, the way it's shot, it's not the most cinematic thing in the world, but it all works. It all looks good. The sets, I got no information from the IMDb page of if it's just a soundstage or if they were in some small body of water.
I think they were on a river.
Yeah? I think it'd be hard to do on a river. I think you got to do it at least on a pond.
I don't know.
They might have done the boat scenes driving around on a river.
It looked real.
Who wants to hit us with that sweet, sweet synopsis?
Mysterious corpse washes up, is found. Guy died mysteriously. They don't know how he died. There's questions about it. So they send in a medical examiner who has experience with the area, is from the area, speaks the swamp language. The swamp people accept him as one of their own. So he goes down there to investigate. Turns out there's a genetically modified Chinese fish running amok.
Chinese strike again. Now they won't leave swamp people alone.
They're stealing our jobs, and they're stealing our fish
I was
jobs.
wondering what was going on, geopolitically, that we're blaming the Chinese in this movie. Because if this movie was made now, that would somehow be a Russian killing fish.
That's true. I don't think we were necessarily blaming the Chinese in this. I think we just used the Chinese snakehead because it is
they probably just read the article about the snakehead invading that lake.
It's Crofton, Maryland.
Did you know that the snakehead, if you see one, shoot it. Shoot it on sight. Kill it. Kill it immediately.
Probably worldwide. They're extremely invasive.
They're just living their... Hey, ain't nothing out there that don't belong there.
Thanks, Roland. That does specifically say the film was based on that snakehead incident.
See, there you go.
So, like I said, I wrote in my notes at one point that I bet it's a delicacy in China. How much snakehead do you eat, Ryan?
I have never been offered snakehead.
You know anyone who's eaten it?
I haven't thought to ask.
Do a poll.
Okay.
So, this is also if we ever do the live action Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island. I want it to look like this.
Absolutely.
100%. Like, oh man. I don't think I've ever seen a movie, get swamps correct in my head on screen. Like, I'm not saying it's actually correct, but it's how it looks in my head.
Right.
Because, I mean, obviously I haven't,
We're not swamp people. We're hill people.
it's different. So we get a nice quiet kill of, I think his name was John.
It was John, our sweet, sweet John. Now, I got a question for you. Here we go. Because, one, I love that he's using a cinder block as an anchor. Nice.
Sure.
Classy. Just efficiency. Use what works. However, is this Frankenfish, how sentient is it? Because I feel
I got
like
the feeling they was smart.
it's using the bobber as a lure.
I mean, it could just be coincidental, because there are things where it's like, you could have been smarter. I mean, why didn't all three of you go at once to the little village? Why did just one of you do it, and then did it take you that long to trail the other two? Like, you probably could have had none of you guys die, but instead, you let you get picked off one by one like fucking amateurs.
Well, maybe they're not like pack. It's not like a group of piranha. Maybe they're like individual guys,
It's good to be individual.
Yeah.
Well, they are genetically mutated, so let's go ahead and assume they're the fucking shark from Deep Blue Sea.
They're fucking solving complex math equations.
Yeah. So now we cut to another crime scene. Well, an actual crime scene. We haven't turned the first one into a crime scene yet, and it's straight up. It's CSI Swamp Edition. We got our medical examiner,
Sam Rivers,
played by Tori Kittles. He's over here looking at a body. It's a lady who has like part of her head tore open. It's pretty gory. She's covered in blood, and he's like, it's covered in chicken blood. And then another like white cop's like, oh, is this for some sort of voodoo ritual? Sam's like, no, man, it's to attract the feral pigs to eat the body. And I'm like, ooh, I would watch CSI Swamp. If they put that on right now.
Look at the big brain on Brian. Except his name's Sam.
His name's Sam Rivers.
he's Kenny. Okay, let's talk. How old is that
What have we
character
been
supposed
doing?
to be?
I'm going to say mid-20s.
Like mid-20s, mid...
He went straight through medical examiner, score. That's because we always get these really, really old motherfuckers in TV shows and whatnot. I mean, if you look at like NCIS, Ducky was 102
Why
when
not?
he first got his job.
Why not make this character a detective?
Because they felt like they needed the medical examiner part of him more.
You've got the biologist who can be like, oh, these bite marks aren't from a blah blah blah.
Well, the fish and wildlife expert, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The botanist, right.
We need... No, okay, here's why. A detective is not gonna be as high a status, potentially, as a lawyer's gonna be. And so for the end of this movie to really pay off, you have to have... Oh, he's a medical doctor. So she's not ending up with a lawyer, she's getting a doctor. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Mama ain't gonna share her gumbo with no detective, okay?
I think a bigger problem there is that he's a white devil and an asshole.
Mommy might have been
that's
a little
the problem I
racist.
get all the time.
I don't know
got
that she was
ghost
racist.
eye.
He sucked.
I don't know, man.
kept
He
saying
brought his
his
boat
white
down
suck.
there.
I think
to help.
I'm fine with you calling someone a white devil if they suck.
No.
Okay, you've
He
clearly
came
never
down
been
there
called
to
the
help
white
her
devil in
move.
China then.
I'd watch that movie.
Are you engaging in suck behavior? Or are you just
I'm ordering
existing?
my egg rolls.
That's suck
Yeah,
behavior.
all right.
It's turtle soup.
I would eat the shit out of snapping turtle gumbo. I want you to know that right now.
100%. No hesitation. In fact, I'm going to ask for seconds. Dan got a bad rap, okay? He was trying to get with the paralegal in his office. She
Wait, what's
pretty
this
much
character's
from
name?
Dan.
Dan. Oh, yeah, we got a Dan, we got a Ben.
There's a Ben in this too?
Ben was
yeah, there's a Ben.
We'll call him Portly. Was he the Portly hunter aide?
He was the hunter played by Mark Boone Jr.
You don't like falafel. Your kids don't
Yeah.
like falafel.
But here's the thing. In the IMDb, it calls him Joseph, but I clearly heard them call him Ben in the movie.
Yeah, they call him Ben.
Yeah, it's Ben.
Ben Joe.
So the amount of whining Dan does in this movie, I'm sorry, Daniel. No, the amount of whining Dan does in this movie. Sorry, Daniel. How he's whining about being out in the swamp with the bugs and
Yeah.
the swamp.
Yeah.
It's pretty much you with spider webs and spiders and
Okay.
Okay. Roll it.
Okay. Hold on. I don't have a problem with spiders being out there, right? I have a problem with dumb spiders who make their shitty webs in the path. That's just dumb behavior.
Okay, first off, they worked really hard on those.
It takes some
And you
days.
crashed their home.
I ate them all.
Secondly,
Left no family.
roll it back. Okay.
Nom, nom,
put
nom, nom,
yourself in Dan's shoes, okay? Dan's trying to be with this paralegal in his office, okay? They got some sort of relationship going on. She implies that he needs to help her come to the swamp because he has a speedboat. It's implicit
Implicit.
that he helps her and to move her mother. She doesn't even put out that much later, we find out. So she's completely using her womanly charms and his male dumbness to get what she wants. He gets out there. He
Hold
gets
on,
out
I'm gonna
there.
stop. Are you sure you want to?
No. Hold on.
This is the stance you want to take?
I'm putting you in Dan's shoes. So this is how he gets out there. He didn't want to go out there. This is how he sees it. So he already didn't want to go out there, but he's doing it. He's been out there trying to help her mother move, but apparently she doesn't want to move. And she doesn't want to move anything, and she's given him all the stink attitude that she can handle. So now at this point, he's out there. He's hot. He's not getting any. Bugs everywhere.
So
Lady
many
with the
bugs.
ghost eyes giving him shit. And he's just frustrated. And then if someone else shows up and the new someone's immediately getting the sexy eye from the lady that he's trying to get, so now his whole weekend is just shot to hell.
I think you just gotta pivot.
To what? The nudist couple on the other boat?
No, you just pivot while you're there. Now you're there to have a good time, to relax.
Nah,
You're out on
I
the
think
river.
like,
It's nice.
oh, okay, you got another boat now. I gotta go.
Could have done that.
I'm saying, while
Kept
I
his
don't
stupid mouth
agree with Dan's motives for being there, I understand his attitude.
All I wanted to say was Sam is a really young medical examiner. I don't know how we got to here, but that's all I really
Yes,
wanted
look,
to say.
We want to talk about Dan. Okay, there's so many characters in this that shine. They get their moments, and it's hilarious.
Like that Tupperware.
Dan grows on you by the end because he's settled into his role.
That's
So-
true. The drunker he gets, the more I liked him.
Yeah. So yeah, we have CSI the Swamp, and we have our confident young medical examiner, and then we say, "Hey, I need you to go back to this swamp." And it's like, "I ain't going back. I ain't going back to the swamp." It's like Javi in the Dead Texas who doesn't want to go back to Mexico. Like, look, they won't talk to anybody else. This is their excuse for not sending a detective with them. But then he gets there and he's on a boat with some other person who's not from there. So I'm like, well, there goes that logic. They needed to send a detective with them. There should have been 3 people. Fishing
Like,
games,
is the medical examiner regularly going out into the field?
I don't think so.
Well, that's why he says, like, I don't normally carry a gun, but I'm going somewhere where I can't call for backup, so I brought the gun.
Yeah.
Well, why isn't like
This is heavily influenced by CSI, where you're
This character should be a detective.
right, where your detectives and your medical examiners and your forensic investigators are all kind of wrapped into one person, even though they're
Right, so we're gonna
clearly
have to-
separate, different fields.
we're gonna have to live with that? There's a lot of strange things in the Croc universe.
I'm gonna
and
live
that's
with it.
what we're
Look,
having to deal with.
In this movie, I watched people go to my favorite store in Delhi, Argyros, and I'm like, Argyros, oh, this is gonna be great. You ever eaten at an Argyros?
I don't know what the
Euros?
fuck you're even talking about.
I believe the G is soft.
Argyros.
You ignorant skink.
Come on, this is the Tupperware scene where they open the Tupperware lid to show the remnants of John.
So that body's being stored improperly also. Point that out, because you don't want direct ice on the tissue, because that'll cause tissue damage. It's just muddying up everything that happened to it.
I wonder where you
whatever.
learned that, Daniel.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
What is
I'm
he-
not saying you're
what is he-
spouting a fact or what you think is a fact that you heard in a movie, which also had creatures in it.
Which movie was that? Oh, that was the movie Zombiever.
Yeah, buddy. I'm not saying he's wrong.
Beavers.
Just saying.
Also had a good song in it.
Pretty good
these
songs.
2 movies.
This did not have a good song in it.
Did you get to the credits, bud?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I'm with
That
Daniel
song
on this
hit
one.
hard.
It hit. Yeah,
Did
it
you
hit
listen
The song
hard.
was
Like
talked about piranhas.
it's not
Yeah.
like it was. It wasn't made for this movie.
I don't know. It could have been.
They told them the name of the movie, and they're like Frankenfish, it must be about piranhas. But they didn't like
probably
show them
about
the movie
piranhas.
or tell them anything really about it.
I don't know. I just know it's definitely not alligator. Shark maybe, but I ain't seen no great whites up here. But you know what? Bull sharks are aggressive man eaters, and apparently they're one of the ones that can go a ways up some freshwater rivers.
You know what actually might have done it, and I'm a little upset that no one suggested this, is a river otter, like a whatever you call like a group of river otters. They're ferocious. They'll
They
tear
are
a monkey
vicious.
apart.
What?
They are vicious.
Yeah.
Otters are dangerous, man.
Well,
Don't
river
go-
otters are monsters.
Don't go trying to swim with no otters, Ryan.
Sea otters are chill, but a river otter will tear your face off.
You know how hard it is on the continents? Hard.
No, how hard are the
nice and-
continents? Tell me.
Rock hard.
Yeah.
Just like me, baby. Just like me. So we got our medical examiner and our fish and games wildlife lady who...
I think she's a botanist.
Oh, everyone's a
She is a
botanist.
marine biologist. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, here we go. We got a woman. She's in a STEM field. That's great. And then I'm like, oh, nope. She took her top off, wearing a bikini. Okay,
Well, it's hot.
get mixed messages here. So hot
Well, it's
that
hot
he
and
kept
humid.
all his clothes on.
I was gonna say I had a problem with that as well. I was
I
like,
didn't
good
have a
thing it
problem
wasn't
with
like a
that.
heavy set dude fish and wildlife guy taking his shirt off, just like letting it all flow out. Little hot in the swamp. You'd think I'd know that because I work down here. Do you know how many bugs are in the swamp? You know how many mosquitoes are in the swamp? I would
No.
never. I would leave hardly anything not covered. I don't care how hot.
I'm
I
with
get
you.
in
I'm
that
wearing a
situation.
beekeeper's outfit. It's the only way to stay
Fucking
safe.
Right.
Hmm.
You know, I don't
I'm
want
naked.
malaria.
Hey, Kenny, that
Yeah, buddy.
that gator doesn't look right.
Oh, that's nearly headless gator.
That's because it's made of
That's just
rubber.
Nearly rubber.
Oh, it had a lot of give to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's spongy because it's been in water.
No,
He's been
nah.
in water.
no, okay, like alligator or crocodile heads are something I've seen, and no, they're nah.
Have you seen a severed one that's been decaffeinated?
Decaffeinated, yes, have it, but like it's submerged in water for a long time. This one I have not. So I
it
got a
turns
feeling.
bones into jelly.
Got a feeling that's not how you make the leather supple. You don't leave it in the bayou.
I was born in the bayou.
Ooh,
Okay,
yeah, shit.
so pop quiz.
Yeah.
Who here remembers what it's called when you're doing that style of catfishing? When
No-
we come across,
Oh.
across Elmer.
Do you have
Noodling.
Yeah, it's noodling.
Yeah, it's noodling.
I was gonna ask. I'm a catfish. Can you fist
Right.
me?
Okay, here's that scene. They come across Elmer, who's standing in the water, and our fish and wildlife expert, who isn't much of an expert, Mary, is like, what is going on? Does he need help? Sam's like, shh, hold on, just watch. And then he pulls Big Mona out of the water.
Kubayasha.
Yasha! And Sam's like, she's a beauty. Elmer says, you got that right. And then Mary, our fish and wildlife expert, who apparently knows nothing about the local kind of fishing, says, is it biting you? Elmer responds, hell yeah! If a strange man put his hand into your holes, wouldn't you bite him?
Kubayasha.
Classic.
Yasha. I love it. And it's like, hey, look, man, we're trying to find out what happened to John, okay? Like, you can talk to me. I'm a local. Like, can you take us to John's place? He's like, yeah, you told me.
I wish he would have like put on like a Cajun accent, like he's
Like,
from there.
Like Sam, like, yeah, that would
yeah.
be nice. But like Elmer is the only one who I think goes full Cajun. Like even like the mother, Gloria, I don't even think she goes
No.
even remotely. She just talks. They just gave her a ghost eye and said, "Here, have some voodoo."
The Ghost Eye will do all the acting for you.
Ghost eye works. And then fucking Cardo was there just to be like a Danny Trejo badass on a boat.
Pretty much. So Kenny, it's
So
after he pulls Big Mona out of the river, that's the moment I went, "Oh, I've seen this. I've seen this movie with you. This is a on the bed movie."
yeah, so
Back before Netflix
back.
and chill was a thing, we had on the bed movies with Kenny
on the
and
bed
Ryan.
movies.
This was an on the bed movie.
That is because my dad and I watched this at some point, either on TV or we had rented it. Dad liked it so much that he bought it on DVD, and then when I left for college, he doesn't rewatch a lot of his stuff much, so I was like, Dad, I'm taking this. He's like, okay. So I had that from day one.
Was that in a on the bed
apartment.
movie with your dad too?
Oh, that was Under the Covers with Dad. So that one has been around in my library since 2007, which makes sense. I mean, it came out in 2004. So we got on this one pretty early. It's always held a lovely place in my heart. Although I hadn't watched it in a while, so it was nice to watch this again. Daniel, you don't recall having seen this with us?
No, I've seen it.
So I've shown both of you this at some point.
I don't think I watched it on the bed with you.
Look, you don't understand, Daniel. My bedroom had the best TV in the house. I don't even think we had one in the living room. So it's either my bed with my nicer TV or Ben's bed with his shit TV.
And his shitty sheets because he don't wash them.
Yeah, we weren't going in. Yeah, we weren't going in his crusty bed.
Crusty bed.
We were in my bed with the
feel
hammer.
the crust between my toes.
These people don't look like any swamp people I've ever seen.
It's quite a collection. It's like, here's my niece and her naked husband. Now, what do you call this? This isn't a town. I don't even think it's big enough to be a village. It's what, 4 boats?
It's a cul-de-sac
Well, maybe. We've got Bobby and Roland.
on the river.
We have their boats. That's 2 people. We got Elmer. That's his boat. We had John and Gloria. That's their boat. We had Ricardo, his boat. So that's what?
I think it's 4.
6 people, 4 boats?
I think that's right.
So, a huddle? I don't know.
A clutch of swamp people.
Wouldn't you want to give it like a swamp name, like a?
Well, I don't know any swamp names for things.
A gator ball?
It's a gator ball.
I'm a ball of gator. Gator ball.
It's a gator ball.
It's a collection of Steve Irwins. It's a.
Yeah. Ricardo ain't talking to nobody.
Why not?
Okay. Look, he's in his feelings
Best
still over
friend
John.
died.
They were in Nam together, buddy. Viet fucking Nam!
Hold on, they weren't in Vietnam together.
That's what they said.
There's no way.
That's
What
what
year?
they said.
What year is Vietnam?
Every year it exists as a country.
It's 2004. Okay, that's fair. 2004. Vietnam's what? The 70s, 60s?
So they're both about 50.
No.
It's close enough to where I can believe. Look, 2004 is almost 20 years ago.
Right. So so this is 30 years from the 70s.
John and
Okay.
Ricardo.
Okay. If you're there as like an 18-year-old, I guess. Okay.
And they would have been.
All right. Vietnam. It's what
Damn
goddamn
right.
happened.
It didn't say they're there like they're in the war. It just said they went to Vietnam together. Everyone
Oh, they
assumes,
traveling buddies? Right.
Yeah.
Every time you say we were in Vietnam together, you assume the war.
You assume the war. Well, but hopefully we'll put an end to that soon. Like if I said it, people would just assume I went there.
Bet it's cool. Ryan's
I
probably
bet it is
been.
cool.
Look at him.
There's a curse in these waters. There's a devil curse. Strange boat after the hurricane. This movie, I think Resident Evil owes some royalties.
Which one?
Yeah?
Resident Evil 6, the one with the house. Because in that one,
That's
They've-
7.
7 is Village, isn't it? Or is that 8?
That's
no,
8.
8 is village.
Dang it. Okay, 7 then. Because if you remember,
6 is the one
they
looks
find
like
that big boat.
looks like the giraffe is fucking
Yeah.
the girl.
Yeah, I remember that logo. No, 7 was the... Sorry. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Wait, roll that back to me again. A giraffe fucking a girl. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Ryan, do you
What?
not remember the Resident Evil 6 logo?
It's
Daniel, go pull up the logo for
it's
him.
a V
Jamie, pull that up.
and it's an
No,
I.
it's not a Roman numeral. No, it is
No,
not.
It's a
It's
6.
a giraffe.
Isn't it just a 6?
It's a giraffe. It's a girl giving a giraffe a blowjob.
What?
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I'm not gonna look
Is he
then.
gonna look it
I gotta be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
It's fine. But 7 was the start of the first person Ethan adventures. So 7
Oh,
and 8
okay.
tie.
Yeah.
completely
So
together.
that one, that they go to the boat, and that's where the spooky girl came off the boat because she escaped. And just like in this one, they got a boat that's got a hole that's way too big for it.
That's interesting.
That is,
I don't think
interesting.
you're right, but that's interesting.
I said it was just a mysterious crash boat from Anaconda.
You look me in the eye and you tell me Silent Hill did not steal their floor plans for that school from Kindergarten Cop. You look me in the eye and you tell me it's not true. You tell me it.
I don't think I can.
Get to the chopper.
That's right, you
Use
can't.
your ghost eye.
Huh.
Look,
How did she get that
we
ghost
get-
eye?
it's old age, man.
It's
It
just
doesn't
a
matter,
milky eye.
right?
Too much gumbo.
So never enough gumbo.
That's true.
So we're introduced now to we see Ricardo. He goes back into his house. A shot inside Gloria's house. We have to meet Gloria, Dan, and Mary. Now, Gloria's in there lighting up candles, not wanting to move, but I see an electric lamp, and I'm thinking, I don't believe anyone out here has electricity, unless we've got like Jenny's hooked up, I guess.
They got Jenny's. The boat runs on it. Boat runs. Think about boats. They run.
Roland and Bobby's boat runs because it's straight from the factory. Well, it's supposed to run. Like it's an actual manufactured houseboat.
I don't think I would mind living on a houseboat. It seems cool.
I'd get a waterbed on a houseboat.
Oh my god.
Just like the ladies' man.
I think houseboat is the worst idea you possibly could have. So if you have a house and you have a leak in your roof,
Right.
it's bad. If you're on a houseboat and you have a leak, you're dead.
But you just fix it.
How?
Bubblegum.
Frankenfish came
that
right
seal-
up through the boat, right up
No,
through the
you
floor.
get that seal stuff that the guy just slaps it on the thing and it stops it.
Oh, hell yeah. Flex tape.
Oh,
You didn't think of that, did you, you dumb fool? We also get to see, is it Roland outside already, or is it Bobby? I think it's Bobby's out there topless. And
you were confused about which one of which
be
character
fair,
did
they
those
were
boobs
both
belong
topless.
to?
that's true.
Did those boobs belong to the man character or the woman character? I
I was
just
trying to
can't
remember
I
the
can't
order it
remember.
happened. Don't even worry about it. But like, yeah, it doesn't mean I want to see it. And they're like, well, you should probably have Elmer introduce you to Gloria, because that's just gonna be better. Just go do that. So they go over to Gloria's boat and opens the door, and Mary answers the door, and Elmer's like, Gloria, or Elmer's like, Mary, is your mama home? And I'm thinking, where the hell else is she gonna be? She's on a boat
eaten by a
on
gator.
the water. I don't. Yeah, like
She might be out on town doing whatever people do when they go in town. Do they go in town? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. Maybe she went where the crawdads sing. I don't know.
That is a thing.
Yeah, and I
Nice.
watched the movie, and look,
Were there
As
no
Dan-
singing crawdads?
there were no crawdads. As Dan says, I'm not going to spoil that movie because it is worth a watch. It was a good time.
Kenny, you're calling
don't
her Mary,
date
but her
the
name is
swamp girl.
Eliza.
It says,
Eliza.
oh shit. Yeah, sorry, I was looking at the wrong character. Eliza. Mary is the fish and wildlife expert.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't. They have the ordering weird on here. Yeah, don't date swamp girls is what Dan says. and he's right.
Don't do it.
Why not?
So
They talk back to you.
because you always end up.
Oh
dying.
no, they're uppity.
That's so
Yeah,
uppity.
ooh, they're uppity.
Oh
Gloria.
man,
They got voodoo mamas.
that's cool.
Her
Could
magic
be.
circle's protecting them,
It
until
ain't-
it's not.
Well, it ain't great. The magic circle, I would say,
Yeah,
needs work.
she's kind of a bad
Yeah.
witch. It's not good.
You see that? Point in time where she pulls out the thing from Karate Kid, but she takes the little noisemakers off it. She's just spinning it.
But then she wasn't doing it the whole time. She stopped, and that's
She
when people
stopped.
started to get eaten.
She left a hole in her circle. She didn't account for the water. So look,
The water
she
to
complains.
like wash part of the edge of the circle away.
No, she didn't do her circle down. She did a circle. She should have done a
Oh,
circle.
it's
she
flat.
did it in
Yeah,
one dimension.
right.
She didn't do all
Yeah,
like
classic.
4 dimensions.
She complains that they sent 2 people and not like a whole army, and I was like, you guys would have not said a damn word if like actual cops showed up. That was the whole point. We know you swamp people.
I
And
don't know.
can
They
say
seemed
that.
nice enough. I think they were just assuming that.
I think they were too, honestly, because they didn't really even like Sam didn't put on an accent like he said he should have,
Yeah.
which I agree, and they didn't recognize him immediately, which is odd that Eliza didn't necessarily recognize him since she tried to basically date rape him
Oh,
in high
I think
school.
she recognized him. She was
I think
just
she
playing it
recognized him at the
cool.
door.
Yeah, right at
Playing
the
it
door.
cool.
Yeah.
Because when before she just lets them in the house. She doesn't ask who they are. They don't introduce themselves. They just go in.
She's like, "Come on in, take one of these marble bags my mom made. That will protect you.
Put it in your pocket.
Put it in your pocket."
Mary.
You know what? I believe Elmer had one. Saw what happened to him.
Well, I saw it happen to everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody.
that magic ain't working so good.
You guys want some fruit?
I'd love some. Toss that banana at my
Roll
face.
Yeah. I don't want a banana. She's scarfing down like watermelon. They're both out there like, full naked.
See, they are living the life.
Right? Elmer is like this place used to have some decency. Like
I don't
it's a
believe
whole
that.
fucking town. Like, no, that's your niece. So now we've talked Elmer into taking us to the crash boat that's been there for 3 months apparently. And we're going out there and Sam asks Elmer, goes, "Did John ever get on the boat?" "Never said he did. Never said he didn't."
Kobayashi.
Very
Kobayashi.
helpful. Did you?
It's a long...
Okay, there's a blooper, I think, because on the scene where they're riding the boat up to it, on the top left of the frame, I saw another propeller boat that was just sitting there. And then it was there for a second, and then the camera kind of moved a little bit. And I don't think that was intentional. I think they just, that was like a production boat that got caught in the shot.
Like in the little community, or is there driving?
No, it says they're
boating.
Right before they show us they describe, because I think it's Mary's like, "Oh, I didn't think they could get a boat that size up in this waters." And I'm like,
yeah,
what is this? Is this the Voorhees Express, like Jason Takes Manhattan yacht that's up there? What kind of boat's this gonna be? And it's like the smallest thing I've ever seen.
This is like an ocean boat. It's a small ocean boat.
If this was legitimately a swamp or like the Everglades or something, like it would have to be those fan boats. There's a reason they do it that way,
right? Because there are parts that are very not deep.
Very shallow.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very so not deep.
Yeah,
very not deep. All I'm saying, like the boat in Anaconda was bigger than that.
Yes, but that was on the largest river in the world, Ryan.
Doesn't mean the deepest.
This is true. No, I specifically said it was the boat from Anaconda repeatedly. Also, so we get on the cursed boat and we're looking and there's some like food and whatnot. And Mary's like, this is a Chinese boat.
Chinese people have been here. She can smell it, even though there are no Chinese characters anywhere.
I can smell the MSG on this boat.
Nothing Chinese about this boat.
It was the food, though. She was blaming the food.
You mean Asia?
And the steering wheel was on the wrong side.
I was like, first off, only Chinese people can eat Chinese food?
That's
only
a
Chinese
fact.
people have, like, bun steamers?
Right, that's
a fact.
Japan has them. Korea has them.
Yeah, but nope, it's Chinese. And only bad medical examiners turn on tracking beacons.
It was yellow. You have to push the yellow stuff.
You have to push it.
I don't know why he touched anything.
Daniel, he has to push things so that he can alert the guy whose one job. He has one job. He sits at his desk for months. He's been sitting there for 3 months.
3 months.
3 months.
Waiting for this little light to start blinking so he can move.
Can then hand the little GPS thing off to someone else
in a parking lot at a different scene. He had a very important job, and it moved the story forward.
Man, this was back when jobs were jobs. He got paid to sit there for months. How do I get that job?
Playing the character of Anton, who he wouldn't have said it was a Chinese boat. He's vaguely Asian.
Is he even Chinese?
I didn't say that. We turn on the tracking beacons. Now the triad is on the hunt. We got a big-ass fish scale, and that's definitely bigger than Big Mona's fish scale. And we find some rotting flesh in the lower part of the boat.
Are you with me that this hole is too big for the size of this boat?
It's a little big.
It's
like the boat,
really big. The boat didn't look this big. But okay, another question I have is, what happened to those people?
Fish ate them.
They got ate.
And where did the fish go?
Into the water.
Well, yeah, because when we find out later, their little like den is not too far away from the crashed boat, if I recall, right?
Okay, yeah. But the boat, it's been 3 months. If there's a hole in that boat, I would have thought it would have sunk by now.
Oh, well, no, they walked out.
They walked out. Okay, good. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's a shallow part of the swamp that the boat ended up on, so it's already grounded. That's as low as it's gonna go.
It didn't look
unless
that
it
shallow.
sinks into the mud. That's the excuse we're gonna give, though, because otherwise, yes, it should be submerged.
So basically, these fish killed the people on board, and then to celebrate, they did like an Animal Farm party, and they all got drunk, and then they wrecked their boat.
Yeah, it's really embarrassing. Don't tell Dad.
I think that every new Zelda game should have a scene where Link vomits and then finds a magic fish scale. Da-da-da-da!
Yeah, and then he vomits again.
And he vomits again, because I think that's a good Zelda clone.
For sure. Well, now that Mary's all puking and shit, she's all over the place.
I'm emailing Nintendo as we speak.
She knocks Elmer off the boat. But Elmer's having a good laugh about it. It's fine. Even though everyone was so scared to go near this boat that lived there, so Elmer's being really chill about this.
Well, the way the witch mama was talking about the boat, she made it sound like it'd been there for years.
she's old. She forgot.
Her sense of time is all wackadoo.
If only she was there with her ghost eye, she could have prevented Elmer from getting dragged through the water in that classic bit. Because I got bad news, folks. Elmer, he gone.
Why did Elmer deserve to die?
He didn't deserve.
Elmer was the best of us.
So I had forgotten that this was a movie where it's just a killing machine, not like a slasher monster, but a killing machine. So it's just gonna kill anything and everything.
Anything, everything. And you know what? Right here, Eliza or Mary and Sam should have just left. Should have just like, nope, we need more help. This is clearly a creature doing some killing. Let's just boat the fuck out of here. Don't worry, everyone will be fine back there. It hasn't killed anyone back there. But no, they go back to the little village and be like, look, Elmer, look.
I'm looking. I don't see him anymore.
He gone. He with the ocean now.
We're on the ocean?
Oh yeah, no, he's washed out to the sea. So now we're gonna cut to, we got a crime guy with a rare cat.
Crime guy. It's an ocelot.
Classic old white crime boss. He's like, oh no, man, you know where my boat is now? All right, we're gonna go get it. Meet me at the docks. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna bring my rare cat and my boobs. We're gonna go get them gators. So we get back to the village, and Sam and Mary are trying to explain what the hell happened to Elmer, and that's when Roland says the line Daniel said earlier: "Only things that's out there are things that belong there.
I didn't say that.
If we don't bother it, it won't bother us."
I didn't say that.
I'm glad you. I think you. Yeah, you totally did.
You said the first part, not the second part.
Yeah, not the second part.
I didn't say
Daniel.
I didn't say that.
Hey,
You did.
Daniel, look. Oh,
We've got the footage.
you've never missed a practice to one of my football games. I'm the boy you've been telling your mama about.
Yeah.
Awkward, mama. Pretty awkward.
Yeah, like, well, Sam already pointed out, like, yeah, you must have really liked football. You never missed a practice.
What? Was she not a cheerleader or something?
No, she was pouring the Gatorade.
Well,
Yeah.
she's the water boy then. It's her job to be there. What do you mean?
Guys, one day I'm going to ride a fan boat.
Promise?
I promise. I'm going to make it happen. I want to ride a fan boat. I want to go through I want to have a full CSI Miami or something. And just, it's going to be great. Now, look, Ricardo will speak now. Ricardo will tell you, it thinks it's king out here, but it ain't. I'ma kill it.
Till it's
Okay,
dead.
but you gotta eat. I made gumbo.
You gotta get gumbo. I'm like, hell yeah, mama, gumbo.
They're all chowing down. Sam's like, this is good. Snapping turtle? Mary and Dan start gagging on it. They're always gagging on it on the day.
Yeah, you're always gagging on snapping turtle gumbo on the day, aren't you? Now, I don't know why you'd be gagging on it. I mean, I'm trying to think. Have I had turtle?
I feel like I've had snapping turtle. That's the only kind of turtle I'd eat, by the way.
I don't know. Your turtle look tasty. Let's fatten him up and then we'll eat him.
He is getting fat, but he'll eat you first when he escapes in the night. Yeah, so, I'd eat the shit out of that snapping turtle gumbo. But, yes, this is where Eliza and Sam realized they went to high school together, and Eliza had a big heckin' crush on Sam, and Mama awkwardly rats her out next to her current boyfriend, like, oh yeah, this is the boy you wanted me to give the love potion to. I was like, what, the date rape magic?
Yeah, this is love potion number 9 territory. I say,
Yeah.
Mama, I don't know if we should be talking about this in front of non-swamp people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then Eliza takes Dan outside because Dan's being, like, completely, like, just shoved to the side and, like, disrespected by the mother. And he's just like, well, that's kind of messed up. So Eliza takes Dan outside. She's like, Dan, you're being rude. I'm like, Dan's being attacked here.
Yeah.
Dan's being put in a horrible situation. Dan could have been way ruder. But whatever. She's like, you know what? Screw you, Dan. She goes back inside. It's like, I never should have hooked up with a lawyer. And Dan's just like, what the fuck? And we go back in, and now, oh no, Sam's drinking tea that Mama made. Like, first off, I don't think Sam's that dumb to not know that that would be the tea she's made in this whole situation.
Well, it doesn't matter. There's no such thing as a love potion.
Oh, there is in voodoo.
But
Okay.
we've established that okay, her magic circle doesn't work.
This is
Her
true.
charms
it's just
don't
bad
work.
tea.
This is true. None of her magic
tea's
works, so
not-
it is
her
just
tea's
really
not gonna
shitty
fucking
tea.
work either.
Yeah, it's just shitty tea.
Absolutely.
But then Dan comes back in. Yeah, Dan goes back in. Eliza, fish and game lady, Mary goes outside, and she immediately starts putting the moves on.
I had
Eliza.
forgotten
I was like-
this.
Shoot your shot, girl.
Yeah, did you clock earlier when Bobby was topless?
Yes.
She was the one who lingered on, like, staring at her. Like, she was lusting
Yeah,
after
Mary
Bobby.
was like, "Hello."
Yeah, so she's,
I thought that was just a funny bit, but then I'm like, "Oh, she's like, oh, you need someone to rub your feet, read your poetry."
she's like, oh,
Mary,
yeah, where am I gonna
you
find a man like
dog.
that?
Who said anything about it being a
Who said
man?
anything about it? Yeah, and she brought her a beer and everything after Dan was like, oh, yeah, I could use another beer. And she just, like, walks past him. He's like, oh, that's fucking
I was
great,
rooting for
thanks.
this romance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nah, I think Mary's a bit of an opportunist creep. I think she's the one going around, like, putting pills in cups at parties. She's so quickly trying to get with every, like, vagina in this tribe. She'll be hitting on Gloria next. You switch her gender around and tell me that's not creepy behavior.
She just brought someone a beer.
And she's immediately trying to imply, you know what, you should get rid of your man and get with me.
Well, no.
Well, okay, hold on. Let me yeah, but she's cute.
Well, yeah. Well, if it's a cute dude.
Look, you can do a lot of things if you're attractive enough.
That's true. That's the way the world works. Or if you have enough money.
Or
If you're a Frankenfish?
if you make if you're a Frankenfish, that's right.
If you're a Frankenfish. But look, Eliza ain't having any of it. That's when she goes back in, and then Mama calls Dan the White Devil. Daniel, hear me out here. Roland, okay? Stoner nudist, right?
Yeah.
What if he was played by John Bernthal?
Okay.
Wouldn't that have been even better? For somebody
don't-
that's like, man, that could be John in like a little bit of like prosthetics,
I
like
don't
makeup.
know.
But like his hard bod and then him doing that character, I think, because he's got a fucking face, and I think that would have been an even better role. And not that Richard Edson didn't do a fine job, but imagine if you did that now, knowing like if you did this movie with like an all-star cast,
Right.
that's who I would have play Roland, and I think it would just fucking work.
Yeah, I'll watch John Bernthal in anything, so sure, yeah.
Okay, that's all I had there. I just like, man, I was picturing John Bernthal naked holding fruit.
And now I am.
Now you
I
are.
am
So
too.
now
So-
they're having their little uncomfortable dinner, and Roland's like, "Oh, I see something in the water, Bobby. Come out here. I see something in the water." As he's token up, and he goes in and gets his flashlight, and Bobby's reading a book on hydroponics.
Got to.
He's like, "Hey, come out here. I'm looking at this thing." Now, here's the thing: gators exist. You live in the
Right.
swamp.
Yes.
You see something big in the water, you're not gonna put any part of your body that close to the water to try and see what's in the water.
Well,
So even if Frankenfish didn't come by and do the job, I think the gator would have. Roland is not gonna get ahead in life this way.
That's true. That is
Bobby-
true.
Bobby comes out in time to see Roland's head get snapped off by the fucking Frankenfish, and I loved this headless body spitting blood everywhere. She gets covered. It's absolutely glorious. It's good. The fish are in the village now. Bobby says, I ain't staying over here. She goes and gets on their little motorboat. The fish fucking rips the anchor off the dock and grabs it and starts pulling her like Jaws. And then just asshole fish does a massive fucking jump and tips the boat because it's that fucking big. And I say, fly, Bobby, fly. Now she's stuck out in the water.
You say, "Can you fly, Bobby?"
Can you fly, Bobby? And now they're getting some shots off. They're hitting this fish with their little sidearms and whatnot. But Bobby's trying to swim there, and then the fucking Frankenfish last minute grabs her and sails across the screen with her in its mouth.
That was very cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. And now we're like, okay, we gotta go. Ricardo's like, I ain't leaving. Ricardo's king. He won't leave. And this is what I realized. The Frankenfish taught the orcas. That's what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to say topical. When this comes out, we're still going to be talking about that.
Because by the time this comes out, there'll be sailing boats.
They own the seas.
Yeah.
They own the seas.
Tell
now
me-
we're like, okay,
Tell me why Sam is an idiot.
tell
I'll tell you why.
me why.
I'll tell you why. On his own, he manages to get 2 boats sunk
Yeah.
by doing the exact
what-
same thing and getting the exact same result.
And what? They're not even his boats. He got Dan's boat sunk. And everyone's turning on Dan now. Dan's like, I ain't getting in there right now. Well, give me your keys. And he didn't even fight it. He gave it to it.
Yeah.
And then they're all dumb because now there's like a bucket that they got roped between 2 boats. And Mary, who's the smallest one there, is like, I ain't getting in there. Sam's like, well, I'll get in there. And then Eliza's like, nah, I'll get in there. I've done it all the time. And her mom's like, yeah, when you're a kid. I'm like, look, Eliza, you thick, girl.
She's.
Eliza's not short and
I think
not
she's
petite.
taller than Sam.
Yeah, she might be pretty close to Sam's
Yeah.
weight.
Probably played volleyball in high school.
Yeah, she thick, though. Bad idea. Why are we going over there? Oh, yeah, because their boat probably runs. Like, their houseboat probably runs. And, of course, get up close, and then the rope tears, and she's, like, dangling. But she's got some upper body strength.
Here's
she
a
hoists
question.
herself up quick.
Why don't they just swim to shore?
Yeah, wouldn't you think
Hush.
those boats are pretty close to some
Okay,
land?
I would think they would be.
this is what Mary is probably going to recommend they do before the incident happens.
Oh, she's like, when she's like, I've got an idea.
Because she says,
We never
we
get
just
to hear
got
her
we got to get
plan."
to Ricardo's boat, and
which
then
is closest to the land.
what
and
she's going to
then-
say is, we then jump and just swim, 5 feet over to shore.
Maybe we just jump to the shore. It's right there. It's all, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, we'll get to that.
I thought that was mean.
Eliza climbs up to safety. They've shot the Frankenfish a few more times.
Pew pew.
And then Ricardo's over there whipping out his machetes. Like, he's ready.
Oh, and it's Scrotum's
Eliza-
catfish, because we'd seen this catfish before.
We did. It's Big Mona.
Big Mona.
Ah.
Big Mona
Eliza
makes a
can't
return.
start
Kumiyasha.
Kumiyasha. Eliza can't start the houseboat because the engine bay is filled with weed. So Ricardo is like, fuck this. He pulls out a big hook, throws the catfish on it, throws it out there, has it tied to a chain, wraps around his arm, and just waits. And then the Frankenfish jumps on his boat and like almost chomps his leg, and he gets a shotgun blast straight to its head. It's like, yeah. Now everyone's calm, and Ricardo lights the grill, starts gutting it, and Gloria's like, what are you doing? I was like, Gloria, this is a swamp. You know what he's doing.
I
Rips
thought
out,
he was
like-
going to pull out like somebody's head.
I
or,
did
like
too.
a whole person.
Yeah.
That'd have been nice.
Someone's
Instead, he
head.
pulls out its fucking art. Pulls out its art and a little fillet, and he throws it on the grill. And Gloria's like, that thing ate Bobby. Didn't even pull up the fact that it ate her husband and his best friend. Dan walks out. What smells delicious? Oh, fuck. That's just wrong. Like, that's, And then Ricardo, thought you were king of the swamp until I ripped out your heart, motherfucker! And then the second fish didn't appreciate Ricardo eating the heart, so it came up and ate Ricardo. So that's classic Chinese snakeheads causing problems.
Classic.
Now, Eliza's on Bobby and Roland's boat trying to wash off her shirt. I'm like, just take one of Bobby's shirts. What are you doing? You don't have time to get all that blood out of your shirt. That's not smart. And this is where we get Ricardo's boat on fire from the fish, and it was heating up the gun. And that's when Mary was like, yeah, no, I got a plan to get us out of here. And then boom, she gets shot in the face. And I love how great a medical examiner Sam is, because her face is missing and he's checking her pulse. That's when I said, your protections don't work for shit.
Are
Dan
you
says,
okay, man?
The
You
house
okay?
shot her. This is insane. And she's over there, and you'll get your wings. Everybody getting wings
Everyone's
up in here.
flying. Everyone's going to heaven. I don't know.
And then the propane tank launches from Ricardo's boat, lands in Bobby and Roland's boat, and then blows up, sending Eliza out in the water, and she's fine floating there, and Sam swims out there and saves his lady love.
I don't know. Kenny, this is where I knew the universe wanted these people dead.
Yeah.
This was
because
like a
then
final
Dan's-
destination scenario going on right now.
That's true.
Well, tremors starts happening because the Frankenfish starts hitting the bottom of the boat to make it sink, to get him off the roof. They're trying to quickly climb up the ladder as one gets on there. It's Dan and Gloria, and Dan's up there, Gloria's up there. She's half the woman she used to be because her lower half just got chomped off.
Aw.
Now the last thing Gloria gets to see with her ghost eye is fucking Dan, who she hates.
Look, at this
It's
point,
Dan's
Dan
crotch.
Dan has failed the son-in-law admissions exam. You can't let your future mama-in-law get eaten. That's a fail. It's a hard fail.
That's a big fail. I agree. And now the crime guy's like, look, well, I just wanted to hunt big things that hunt you back. And I'm like, I don't care how big the fish is. It's not called hunting. It's called fishing. I'm sorry, but that doesn't sound impressive.
Well, it's fishing back.
Come to daddy. That's our crime bosses show up. They try to yell at him. And they're like, hey, man, don't get out of the boat. Of course they get out of the boat. I think Anton dies because he goes with them, right? Is he the one that dies?
No, Anton doesn't die yet.
But he does die soon.
He gets shot into the fan, right?
No. They start talking about rhinos. I gotta be honest, at this point, when big bad evil guy shows up, is where I kind of lost interest in what was happening because I really didn't care about these people.
Same.
Yeah.
It wasn't that interesting. Like, if this had just been, if they had given like a little more lore at the boat and not have to be other characters who aren't even on the river who are attached.
I don't
to
think
this.
we needed these people.
We didn't need these people at all.
To show up much earlier or not at all.
Yeah, we just needed like
we just wanted some
medical reports or
we
test results on the boat or something, or pictures of what these things were. You put it together, you're done.
We couldn't think of more people to live in the swamp community, but we needed more fodder. So that's why we got and we needed to have a stupid this is man's fault why these things exist, and this was about as stupid as a reason as possible. Plus they're also incredibly stupid. He's like, yeah, there's only 3 of them. They're genetically modified, incredibly invasive species left alone for 3 months in this environment, but there's only 3 of them. Really? You're really going to trust that much? Because he just stays in the water after they kill another. It's like, yeah, it's fine. There's not another one over here. Like, really, dude? Okay. But whatever. Hey, I'll get you guys all out of here on my fan boat, but I'm the captain. And we're boating away. It's Dan, Eliza, and Sam are all that's alive out of the swamp now with our newcomers. And Dan tells Eliza, boy, you move on quick. It's like, shut up, Dan. That's what she says. Like, yeah, she gets to be with her high school crush. Then Dan goes to Sam and goes, I'm warning you, dude. She doesn't put out as much as, shut up, Dan. Okay? Okay.
Dan, shut the fuck up.
Okay. Then we get to the Zombiever Lodge.
Yes.
Zombiever.
Dan doesn't have to get in the water because he's too drunk, and the crime boss like, I ain't going in with there. And then Dan leans over to Sam and goes, hey, Sam, that guy's a dick. Now we've got one big Frankenfish left, but it's been hit with a triple dose of, like, trank, I guess. So he's so confident that it's quiet. But crime boss, hunter guy who likes falafel, and Sam are in the water. They got Sam on point because they want him to die. If anyone's going to die. They go into the Zombiever Lodge, and I don't know what the plan is here.
The plan is he's trying to catch it, right?
He wants it alive, but what's the plan? That's what he wants, but how the hell does he think they're legitimately accomplishing that? He thinks it's unconscious?
Does he know the size of this thing at this point?
I don't know, because at one point,
I guess they've
hunter
killed
dude was
one of them.
those are the females, like the male is bigger, or maybe it was the opposite. Usually the female's bigger in wildlife, but yeah. So like that's just dumb. And while they're in there, Eliza's trying to hotwire the boat, and Dan's like, I didn't know you could do that. So Sam, let's see. Hunter guy gets taken out, right? He gets dragged under. Sam's like, I'm not staying in here. You can shoot me or the fish kills me. I'm fucking leaving. Weirdly, the crime guy just stays in there. Like, I'm getting my fish. Doesn't hear the boat starting. Sam's getting out there, gets on the boat. Crime guy tries to get out, and he gets fished. And now we're flying in the fan boat. But that big-ass fish is keeping up, and it keeps hitting him. And they lose Dan. He goes flying off the boat. We gotta go back and save Dan. But now as the fish is hitting the fan boat, it's knocking off the guard off the fan on the back. But I swear something got chopped up in the fan earlier because it was already covered in blood and shit. I know I'm not crazy. And Sam gets an idea. It's like, oh yeah. So he pries off the back of the boat, and he's like, Eliza, when I say jump, you wedge the stick in there and you jump. And they crash the boat into some trees. They jump off, and the fish decides it's going to chase right into the boat and do another jump right into the fan. And they're all covered in giant fish brains, and she looks great for a girl covered in giant fish brains. That's Sam's line, not mine. She's all like, well, we'll see how you feel tomorrow.
I would have said, you've got a twig in your hair.
You got a twig in here. God, you are so romantic, Daniel.
Yeah.
And he's like, look, I've had that love tea before. It tastes like shit. Plus, your mom's voodoo is also shit. And she had a ghost eye, and that's freaky.
And you smell like fish.
You smell like fish. And that's before we got in the water.
Hoo ha ha.
Look, hoo ha ha. I'm saying he's immune to the love potion. That's what he thinks. But all I'm saying is they're out there. Yeah, that's what he says, but she doesn't believe him. Look, we're still in the swamp. We've got all this fresh flesh.
They're still making out with
gators,
swamp water in their mouths, and it's a whole thing.
And gators still exist. So
you don't think these as shown, these fish probably ate all the gators that were around.
All the gators. But definitely at least maybe rinse off your heads. Like do a quick dive under the water. You got shit all over your face. Like, come on. But they're going to swim back and save Dan, which is good. Because Dan's in the mud. Okay. Now I'm sober. And he's just like, he's stuck in the mud. He's wiggling around. He's like, ah, which is hilarious. And then what happens? Who wants to tell me what happens to Dan?
Fishies, fishies, where are you? Okay, so Daniel, if it's between me and you, which fishy are you?
I don't know.
I'm fishy number 2. You can be fishy number 1.
Okay.
Whole bunch of fishies go up and eat my man Dan. Little fishies.
Little fishies.
We found out earlier that the Chinese snakeheads have a lung, and so they can walk on land for some amount of time.
Quite a while.
So they can travel across land out of the water. And so we watch all these happy little fishes just, I'm a fishy, I'm a fishy, I'm a fishy. Ooh, here's a person, num, 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 num. And then he starts trying to swat them away and like make good smacking sounds. But then they all just like pile on him like a bunch of puppies. It's great.
I don't think they would do that.
You would think like initially from the start, you think he's like possibly going to get away from it because he is swatting them away so easy.
No, because like the genetic modification is to make them bigger, right?
Yeah, but those are the babies. If that's how they are,
and these are the babies, so they're not big enough to eat people yet.
They're nibbling.
Like a regular one of these fishies doesn't eat people, do they?
No.
So then why would these guys?
Genetic
that's
modification.
All they've been getting fed. Yeah, they got fed John.
But
they didn't just hatch today, Daniel. They've been tasting the human flesh.
Oh, they've already got the taste for it? Okay.
Yes.
I just love how that starts. So he's laying there in the mud and he goes, huh? Well, first he goes, okay, now I'm sober. Huh? Oh, hi, little fishy. Like, not a care in the world. And then they swarm him like those tiny dinosaurs in the Lost World.
Why didn't he just get up?
He's stuck in the mud.
Stuck in the mud.
Just stand up.
You can't stand up. You're stuck in the mud.
I don't understand.
And then we get to the credits. Just when you thought it was safe outside, the tide will rise and something else happens.
Piranhas!
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 Like grungy.
Did we know somebody?
Something piranhas.
I tried to Shazam it.
There are no piranhas in
Didn't
this
work.
movie. I don't.
Piranhas!
What? It's snakeheads.
Piranhas!
Is that the name of the group that performed it?
No.
What?
There is a whole rainbow of movie theme music for monsters, but I don't think we're gonna get better than the ending credits of Arachnophobia.
Oh, the itsy bitsy spider up the water spout.
I don't think
that's a child's nursery rhyme, but that's okay.
Oh no, it's
like
don't hurt me.
Don't squish me. It's don't squish me or betwish me. It's so good.
Betwish me.
I don't know what it is. I haven't listened to it in a minute. I'm gonna do it as soon as we're done.
Look, apparently this movie was referenced in
Resident Evil 7.
2016's Two Lava Two Lantula. They mentioned it in the dialogue, so it's still alive there.
What is that?
What is?
That's a movie we should never watch.
I disagree.
Is it
from the
a
name alone?
Original?
From the name alone,
it's a Sci-Fi Channel movie. I think it's
a tarantula that lives in lava.
I think it's the sequel to Lavalantula.
There you go.
What? Well, I mean,
look, and this was a sci-fi movie, so that is as well. There's also something called Frankenfish and Chill that it's 6 minutes long, came out in 2015. Bizarre murders lead detectives Jack and Sean to a lethal confrontation. Frankenfish full of punchlines. I'm gonna have to check it out. I don't
think you have to.
I have to, because I gotta know. And then apparently, during the Spoonie experiment, Highlander the Source review, it gets mentioned as one of the movies made by Sci-Fi Channel. So the legacy of Frankenfish lives on.
So the money they made from this, they used to make Highlander the source?
Take me
Oh.
back to
If so,
the
that's a
bayou.
war crime.
This
That is a war
this
crime.
is I want them audited by the IRS. Yes. I wish that upon you.
Just when you thought it was safe outside, who wants to live forever?
Piranha.
Oh God! Look,
Don't nibble at my toes.
this movie is a banger. Okay, it deserves to be seen more. This is. I kind of want to do something maybe in our season 2 where we call it, hidden gems from our vault, where we just pull out shit like this that nobody talks about.
In my head, I had this confused with another movie,
Venom,
like the Spider-Man.
not the Spider-Man thing.
The
'Cause isn't
snake
there one
movie?
I feel like there.
The Snake movie, 2005.
No,
I
it's
had
not.
those.
It's not a snake one.
Well, it's like a guy's possessed like with a snake evil thing. It's in
Nope.
Louisiana. He's possessed by 13 evil souls. Apparently.
my thing is a genetically modified fish thing.
Deep Blue
And I
Sea.
thought it was this one, but it's not this one.
Well, Deep Blue Sea is one though.
I think it has less of a swamp vibe,
Oh, then it's not as good.
but I don't know. It might be a fake memory. You guys have fake memories?
All the time. They've been implanted by the gov.
Oh, it might have been Frankenfish. Now that I think about it, maybe it is just like Piranha 2. I don't know.
Snakehead Swamp.
Snakehead. I
Ooh.
think it is Snakehead. The word snakehead sounds familiar. They were snakeheads in this, weren't they?
Yes. Now, what are some other good swamp movies though? I feel like Shark Night takes place in a swamp.
Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island.
Yes.
Like just swamp movies? You'd go with
I'm gonna say Shark Night if you want a creature in a swamp type thing. Anaconda would probably. It's not a swamp. It's a
It
river,
ain't a
but you kind of
swamp.
get that. You get that kind of creature off in the place you shouldn't be living vibes.
No, that anaconda is exactly where it should be.
yeah.
That's true. Those people were bothering it.
They broke into its house.
Yeah, I would watch 2005's Venom if you just want more Louisiana nonsense. Maybe some True Blood.
Always down for some slight no, that's not slight upward curve.
That was her other novel.
Yeah.
If you just want some mention of voodoo, you can just go do some Child's Play or Predator 2.
Fucking voodoo magic man. I'm gonna recommend 2 books. Both by Peter Benchley for just some crazy, silly monster fun. You get The Beast and White Shark.
White Shark. Okay.
The Beast,
Is
the
it-
Squid.
Beast is the squid. That one, I think it was
That's got a
USA made a movie
That's got
of it.
a movie. Yes,
does.
I like that movie.
The movie's, I don't remember if it was
It's
good
like
or bad.
4 hours long.
That's too long.
I think technically it might be a miniseries.
Wasn't there a werewolf movie down in a swamp?
Yeah, Swamp Wolf.
Wolf swamp. The swamp is within the wolf.
It's not.
Don't
It is.
swamp me.
It's not The Howling.
The Howling was more forest based.
I don't
I
think
think it
wolves
was
live
LA.
in the swamp.
Swamp Thing. Watch Swamp Thing.
Swamp this.
Hella swamps in Swamp Thing. The old movies, but then also that new show-ish that went for a season was pretty damn good. And then find the 5 episodes of the animated series where they just take Wild Thing and then change it to Swamp Thing for the theme song. And it's fantastic.
Swamp thing.
That's exactly what they do, buddy. And
You
it's
make
so
my
good.
heart sing.
This has a 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. I think that needs to be at least a 6.5.
Jeez. Okay. Now hold on. Everyone got paid. Yeah. We could hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What are my other stars, Daniel? Everyone has to get paid. I have to be able to hear what they're saying. I have to be
You
able to
didn't fall
see.
asleep.
I have to be able to see
You
what
didn't
you
fall asleep.
filmed. I didn't fall asleep. We were up to 4. You actually had prosthetic rubber monsters. 5.
I'd give another star. Very diverse cast.
6.
Boobs.
I have the internet.
-1.
Voodoo.
Back down to 5.
Ghost Eye.
No dong. -3 stars.
Chinese were bad guys.
Minus all stars. Back to 0 now.
Back to 0. Now I'd give it a 6.5. I've never not enjoyed myself watching this movie. I think they elevated the material
So
beyond
as-
what you would
as far
reasonably
as,
expect with a sci-fi movie.
Oh, sure.
As,
Their budgets.
As bed movies go.
Oh,
This is a fun
It's-
bed
it's a-
movie.
it's a fun bed movie. Now, Daniel, I was saving this a little bit for you, bud. This movie was written by
Am I
2
in this
people.
movie? Okay.
Scott Clevenger and Simon Barrett.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. Neat.
Yeah, I thought you'd like that. It's his second feature-length film he wrote. The first one was Dead Birds. I haven't seen that.
Who are any of these people that you just mentioned?
Okay, Ryan Simon Barrett.
Okay.
He wrote You're Next. He wrote a segment in
banger.
VHS 2. He wrote The Guest.
The Guest is
The
a banger.
The Blair Witch remake.
Oh. Okay.
He works with Adam Wingard.
He wrote Frankenfish.
He's one of the 2 writers on Frankenfish.
So,
Early work.
Snakeheads.
What?
Now, the other writer, he also wrote Michael Jackson's Halloween, which came out in 2017, and that thing's fucking weird. I'd also recommend, here's another one that I just seen pop up, Komodo. Komodo was pretty good. I remember liking that.
They're big lizards.
Yeah, they are. Anyone else have anything to say about Frankenfish?
All these people should have been wearing life vests.
They had him in the boat.
That's not good enough.
I don't think it would have helped. No one drowned.
Look, just because that's survivor bias, all right? Think of everyone who did drown because they didn't have one on.
All I'm saying is, like, you would be a lot safer in car crashes if you were blown to safety, which is why I'm campaigning for no seatbelts anymore.
And an actual
I'm always
ejection
trying
You need to get, you
seat
need to get
that
away
pushes
from
you
the
out
crash.
the window.
It pushes you to safety.
Snakeheads, roly-poly snakeheads. Oh, hello there, listeners. The next movie we'll be chomping through is Zombievers. This movie is a cautionary tale about the horrors of preoccupied driving, with a little thread about hardworking beavers and the nonsense they have to put up with when humans won't stay in their cabin. So check it out and come back tomorrow. Also, turns out I've made way too much snakehead gumbo, and I need more people to devour this deliciousness, or it's gonna go to waste. So, tell everyone you know about Horrorble Opinions, and why not leave a review or send us a comment? It helps keep our boathouse from sinking, you know.
And as always,
Blub, blub, blub.
I've been your horrible white devil host, Kenny.
I'm a snakehead Daniel.
I never pretend to drink the tea. I drink the tea. Ryan.
White Devil Ryan.
Also white devil Ryan. Actual lawyer at one point, Ryan.
But always a guaylo, right here.
Always a Guilo.
Never a bride.
Never mind. See you tomorrow.